This is the word war cry. Like, this reminds me of that. Zzz. You awake to a beautiful morning in Colonel Sanders' hideaway. Did you make the right decision to show on how to respond to Colonel Sanders? Only time will truly tell. Today is a day that could change the rest of your life. You think about the new secret ingredient you just learned about. In some jurisdictions, is it even legal? Oh my god, it's cocaine. But if the recipe is a secret, how will they know? Your thoughts are interrupted when Colonel Sanders emerges into the room. He's holding a gorgeously plated breakfast, and your mouth waters at the sight of it. Here's a simple breakfast I just whipped up. This would be a great time for I came here for waffles. It's meticulous. You taste Colonel Sanders' food, and it takes you on a journey. When you return, he's waiting to ask you an important question. So would you say that we're the perfect match? How presumptuous. My cuisine in your taste buds, that is. Such confidence, such grace. Could he be the world's greatest gift to cookery? Flatter him. You know, I think we might be a great team. A single tear begins to pool in the corner of his eye as he gazes out the window. And with the right business partner, I know I can't fail. And you know, I'm gonna be good to you because your last business partner is in that jar right there. Yeah, I'm a good boy. Business partner, could he be talking to you? It all happened so quickly. Overcome with emotion and confused by your feelings, you're on the verge of tears, unable to speak. The only answer you can find is to run out the door and get home. He just proposed. We would get everything we want, and we're like, and just left. You know, our guy is dumb. There's still one more day of school after all. Oh yeah, the 3-day school year. The University of Cooking School Academy for Learning waits for no one. You get home to find something very surprising. Your best friend is there waiting for you. Where have you been? I just realized I've never seen you not JoJo posing. Just an observation. Because I had one heck of a night. I've been desperate to find you to talk about it, but I couldn't find you. I got worried that something had happened to you. It's okay, I was just... But now that it turns out you're fine, I can finally get you up to speed on the saga of Miriam. Sure, but you will not believe what happened to me after school yesterday. I went on a date. I think I can believe that. Since I'd been partnered up with Clink, he asked me to go out with him. Of course, I told him, you better keep your dials turned to polite and respectful. I'm not that kind of girl. But he was just interested in spending some one-on-one time together and getting to know me, so I said, yeah, sure, I can get to know the little metallic guy. Long story short, he took me skydiving with his friends. Wait. First date, get to know one another, let's jump out of a plane with a freaking air fryer. But things quickly spiraled out of control. Did she just say skydiving? As if that's typical first date to go on with a talking pressure cooker? This is the third time in this game I've made a comment about her, and then the narrator made the same comment. My man. Okay. And now I'm not really sure where we stand. You don't give Miriam time to tell her whole story, however. Bottling up the details of your own night is too much to bear. And I went on a date too, back to Colonel Sanders' house where I spent the night with him. Oh, that doesn't sound odd at all. You what? Nothing happened but the emotional connection. Wowzers. Miriam offers to support you no matter what you do. Together with your bestie, you feel like you can do anything. When you arrive at school, you encounter your rivals in the quad. Yes. You could tell from a distance that they're picking on Pop, though he himself might not quite grasp that fact. Because, you know, he's Pop. What's a swirly? It sounds delicious. Van. Oh, it's great. I'll order you up one right away. I'll have my swirly with sprinkles, please. Sprinkles is a dog and a treat. We can get your swirly dipped, too. Why don't you pick on someone your own size? Because I'm literally the biggest person at this school. That logical? There is that horse that Colonel Sanders rides to school, but who would dare pick on such a gentle and beautiful creature? My face, apparently. You've got some nerve, Daddy Mukluk, suggesting I pick on a defenseless horse. Now you're twisting my words, and I won't have it. You clench your fist, but the injury from yesterday's mixer accident makes you wince with pain. I forgot my hand was shattered. Doesn't look like you can go on cooking like that. Might as well just give up. I'll never give up. Ever. Colonel Sanders arrives just as it appears things are close to boiling over. A naturally intuitive person, he senses that something has been going on. Is everyone excited for the final day of school? Daddy Mukluk, how's that hand feeling? I'm sure you'll be back in fighting form by this afternoon. Yes, I am a lizard person. I regenerate. My bones will be mended by this afternoon, thank you. Aren't you concerned about my hands, Colonel? Yesterday I almost broke a nail winning so hard. Technically, I don't believe a winner was decided, but your presentation was quite impressive. What is he doing complimenting her? But what about the flavor of my delicate, warm, gooey chocolate sauce? It was clear that you're passionate about how your food is received. That's a lot of words to say it was bland. Oh my gosh. Ashley, have you had a KFC biscuit? Because you're looking thirsty. Excuse me, Daddy Mukluk. I am more than capable to speak for myself. Maybe you could tell me more of your thoughts as we walk into class, Colonel. I'm always interested in discussing the fine art of fine foods. See you inside, Daddy Mukluk. Annoyed by Colonel Sanders' inability to see Ashley Egg for who you know she really is, you walk across the quad to get some distance. In an attempt to distract yourself from how slighted you feel by that interaction with Ashley Egg, you take out the spell book you recovered yesterday and start flipping through the pages. Whoa, that's the book? It looks like bad news. It's just something I found lying around. It would appear to be some sort of grimoire, but I don't really believe in that magic stuff. Does it say Death Note on the cover? A grimoire? Like a book of spells? I don't know. Why? Who would spend so much time decorating a magic book if it really weren't powerful? I can think of one surefire way to find out. You open a page covered with arcane warnings. Cast only in case of extreme emergency, it says around the edges of the page. I could use the spell here, and it says it will erase anyone I choose from all of my memories. If I scrub out Colonel Sanders, it would probably help me focus better on the upcoming and final exam. Doesn't this go against the whole point of the entire game? That is way drastic! Couldn't you maybe do something else, like, not rooted in dark magic? Maybe tie a string around your finger? Okay, fine, it is drastic, but desperate times call for desperate measures. You've got a memory erasing spell sitting right in front of you, and a pretty good excuse to try it out. No! You take your friend's advice, yo, I had to think about that for 1 second, and put the book away. It's almost time for class. Sprinkles is already in the room waiting for the students to arrive. He clears his voice to make a quick announcement. I want you all to know, I feel something of a dog moment coming on, but I assure you it's nothing to be afraid of. His cute little nose scrunches up and he begins to breathe quickly. Wait to see what happens. He stops in his tracks. He focuses in on the window. The room is deadly silent. When you follow his gaze, you see a tiny orange squirrel perched on the cherry tree outside. Sprinkles turns feral and runs to the window of the classroom. He begins barking uncontrollably at the squirrel outside. Terrence, I told you never to come back here, Terrence. I will destroy you. The squirrel's name is Terrence. Sprinkles is barking ferociously, drool flying off his face. The squirrel looks over, but doesn't say anything back. You wonder, is that even a talking squirrel? Who named him Terrence? You'd better not show your chubby cheeks around here ever again. After Sprinkles is satisfied that his performance has been felt not only by Terrence, but any other squirrel in hearing distance, he returns to his professional tone. Ahem. I apologize for that outburst. That actually brings up an important point. Thank you, Daddy Mukluk, for reminding me to dole out this indispensable bit of wisdom. You see, but before he can go any further, Miriam's love drama spills over into the class. Sprinkles is interrupted by whirs and sparks coming from the back of the room. I told you to save it for after class. Bzz, bzz. You think I wanted to be thrown from a plane strapped to a stranger? Miriam and Clank appear to be arguing, but you still haven't learned to speak Clank's language of mechanical noises. Wah. But no, you had to show off to your cool kid friends Jeff and Joan, J&J forever. Watch us form a triangle in midair as we descend. Triangles are the strongest shape, don't you know? Bzz, bzz. Yeah, well, that doesn't make it a great date. Beep, whir. Then take Jeff and Joan with you. You can all hold hands as you pedal down the mountain, or off a cliff for all I care. Oh no. Sad beep. Clank begins to shudder, steam pours out of the gaps in his panels, and then a loud ding stops him in his tracks. Beep, bzz. Oh, his eye popped out. No amount of seasoning is gonna make me want to eat that, Clank. Clank burps out a completely deep-fried sneaker. Considering that he himself has wheels, not feet, it's not entirely clear where it came from. In terms of deep-fried footwear, I guess it looks okay? Clank slowly rolls out of the room to be alone with his shoe. Everyone tries to pretend like they didn't see that entire thing going down. I feel like the dog would love the deep-fried sneaker. Nothing like a loud public breakup to cast a pall over the final day of school. Well, that was unfortunate. But we mustn't be distracted any longer from what lies ahead. The final competition showdown challenge exam. I'm still working on the title, but I think you get it. Test time approaches. See you all in the arena. But before you can think about your upcoming competition, there's a very beautiful soul nearby in need of a pep talk. Miriam, are you okay? Okay, I'm so mad I could smash a tiny mug, spilling several droplets of hot cocoa all over the floor. How could he embarrass me in class like that in front of everyone? Her tiny cocoa is a delicious treasure, so you know that this breakup is no joke, even if the source of her frustration is such a silly boy. I know that you know this, but I'm gonna say it out loud. You don't need anyone. Me and you, we're gonna cruise through this final test and hit the carpool lane to Success City. Miriam brightens up, imagining the wind rushing through her short bangs, but she hesitates to embrace the feeling all the way. You're not going to saddle up on Colonel Sanders' stallion and ride off into the sunset without me. Of course not. Well, maybe sort of, but I'm sure there's a pony out there with your name on it and a big ranch enough for the both of us and whoever else we want to bring along. If it's not Pop or Clank or anyone special you meet today, tomorrow, or this whole year, so what? You're a special person who shouldn't settle for the first someone to show you a little interest anyhow. Miriam gives you a big hug and wipes the tears from her cheeks. I should really review my menu for today. I'm going to make a very special soup, and I bet that Professor Dog is going to love it up. While you were pep talking Miriam, you completely missed lunch, but that's okay because you had a better idea of how to spend the time before your exam. You decided to head to the arena early to practice a dish. This is it. The location of your final challenge. A test of will, a test of courage, a test of talent. We could totally sabotage Ashley Egg while we're here. A chance to beat the pants off of Van Van, the supposed man-man, and his evil lure counterpart, Ashley Egg. As planned, you begin to run through a quick test of a recipe you've been working on. Daddy Mukluk's famous chicken pot pie. After practicing for months, making this dish comes second nature to you, and you're able to quickly get a fresh pot pie in the oven, but as soon as you do, your cram session is interrupted by Colonel Sanders. Daddy Mukluk, what are you doing here? There's still time before the final exam. Oh, just taking it all in. I'm big into visualizing success. I'm looking at my station and picturing victory. The pot pie has begun to bake, and the smell is slowly filling the space around you. Visualizing, huh? That's too bad. I was hoping you were here cooking something delicious. You'd usually happily share your food with anyone who is hungry, but the last time you let Colonel Sanders get in your head, it cost you a cook-off. You decide it's time to put your cooking above your romantic desires, but that decision gets hard to stick to when the oven timer goes off behind you. Fess up about your practice dish. Okay, you got me. I'm doing a little bit more than visualizing. I know. My nose can smell a pot pie from 400 yards. What a strange flex. Just... I can identify pot pie at 400 yards. That's an oddly specific distance, but you'd expect nothing less from such an oddly specific man. Chat. I think this would be a great time to tell you guys a very short story. I have told it on stream before, but it's been a long time. There's new people here every night. I'm gonna tell you the story of me misunderstanding pot pies dramatically. This was when I lived in Utah. I was in high school, and I was staying over at a friend's house. It was like Friday or Saturday night. We were staying late, playing video games all night. His mom comes in around dinner time, and she's like, either you boys want a meat pie? Now, I had never in my life at that moment heard the term meat pie. In my mind, which is an excellent visualizer, I imagined a pie tin with pie crust and just hamburger patty filling the entire thing. Just cooked ground beef inside pie crust. And I was like, no, thank you. And my friend's like, oh yeah, I love meat pie. And she's like, okay, are you sure, Michael? And I was like, I'm sure, thank you. And she walks out. We continue to play Tekken. It is my first time playing Tekken. I am absolutely dominating against my friend because I have found one move where my guy crouches low and my friend struggles with hitting against that, and then I uppercut, and I have been spamming that move for 2 hours now. I'm having a lot of fun. He is not. She comes back with a piping hot, steaming chicken pot pie and puts it down, and it smells delicious, and I'm like, oh, that's what you meant. And she's like, would you like one now? With like a very knowing smile on her face. And I was like, yes, please. And then she proceeded to go back to the kitchen, bless her heart, and make a second chicken pot pie for me after she had already finished cooking so that I could have dinner. Because I had grossly misunderstood what the offer was. And then I continued to beat my friend in Tekken for like 6 more hours. That is an oddly specific distance, but you'd expect nothing less from such an oddly specific man. Who knew it was a pot pie just from the smell? Not just a pot pie, but a chicken pot pie with an all butter crust. And my nose is telling me something else. Oh no, is it burning? Haha, no. I can smell that it was made with a heaping helping of TLC. But it'll probably start burning any second if you don't pull it out. The moment of truth. Wow. That does look good. It is the best pot pie I have ever tasted. I've always loved country cooking, and I could eat this all day. There's no time left. The final showdown is about to begin. TLC? TLC is tender loving care. It's a southern thing. I heard that growing up all the time. When you cook with TLC, it's like you're putting love in the food. That's what he's talking about, tender loving care. TLC or MSG, it could be both. I mean, earlier we identified one of those 11 herbs and spices as cocaine, so. Springles lays down the ground rules. There are no rules! That is, except cook with everything you've got. You step up for the cook-off of a lifetime. You decide that mac and cheese plus the pot pie you've been practicing are just the dishes that'll push you over the edge to victory. Meanwhile, both Van and Ashley Egg are prepping wildly elaborate dishes, per their usual over-the-top selves. Miriam has her giant magnifying glass and several sets of tweezers. She's definitely preparing to go big, going small. Okay, I get that she's got this whole shtick about tiny cooking, but does that really get you through culinary school? Colonel Sanders seems to be harnessing his 11 herbs and spices, but he's trying to find a way to improve on something perfect. His original recipe, fried chicken. Dude, harnessing makes it sound like he's like, herbs and spices, lend me your energy. And you know, just basil's off on the other side of the planet, just, take my power. The intensity in the room starts at a full 10 out of 10 with a frenzy of action. Everyone is calling out really cool special cooking moves as they prepare their food. Wow, this is getting serious. Colonel Sanders batters his chicken as it levitates through the air. What? Egg wash! Miriam furiously injects ingredients into an itty-bitty pot of broth. Best friend Baster Blaster! Van flexes his pectorals as he chops open a sea urchin. Let's rock and roid. Ashley Egg scoops her pastries off the... I almost said panties. Ashley Egg scoops her pastries off the tray with lightning speed. Shallow personality spatula. Oh my god. The speed lines really sell it. Even Clank gets in on it. 5-dial pressure point chicken cooking technique. Wait, did Clank learn English? It's the singularity, as was foretold. We mustn't let it happen or the appliance uprising will take us all. Self-destruct. Van quickly unplugs Clank and rolls him out the back door of the arena. Yeah, there's a machine uprising and we're gonna continue the cooking competition. As you frantically prepare your dish, you notice Ashley Egg has her spellbook out. Is she going to use some dark magic to turn the tide? You've got a book of your own, and you're desperate not to see her win another battle, should you take this opportunity to fight magic with magic, even if it's almost certainly evil magic. I think the best way to use this book to fight her book is to take our book and throw it at her. Just blunt force damage. Do it the hard way. Who needs magic when you've got passion? I'm going to do it the hard way. Colonel Sanders, so you've chosen to win on your own terms, and he gives you a subtle wink from across the room. I believe in you, Daddy Mukluk. Miriam notices too. And I've always believed in you, Daddy Mukluk. We were little kids, because I'm your best friend forever. You turn to notice Miriam is at your station cheering for you. Miriam, what about your dish? If you're here cheering, who's cooking? Tiny food, short cook time. I'm actually already done, so I thought I'd help you. Oh, that's sweet, but Miriam tosses a handful of spices directly into your boiling noodles. It's the secret ingredient. The boiling pot explodes, sending Miriam flying backwards. The watery noodles begins to swirl in the air, bubbling up into a dark cloud that thickens and congeals before your very eyes. It is I, Steve, the spork monster. Steve? Wait, what happened to Gorko? You're not here to battle me, are you? We spork monsters are many. I think Gorko had the day off. But you have conjured Steve, and I hate to battle, so I'd say you're doing pretty all right. Oh, hey, you're in the middle of a cooking competition. I love this stuff. It's better than TV. You crazy kids and your culinary skills really impress me. Mind if I hang out? I'm sorry, Steve, but I'm kind of in the middle of something. Do you mind? Steve the Sport Monster notices that you've got the grimoire stashed beneath your cooking station. I see what you're up to. Crisscrossed some magical items and accidentally summoned me, huh? Yeah, you guessed it, sorta. If you're here, would you mind tossing some fresh noodles in a pot of salted water? I'd love to. I've always wanted to be a top chef, actually, you know, when I was just a little sport pup back in the old country. You could feel Sport Monster winding up to tell a very long and involved story. You don't know where exactly they come from, but it seems like it was probably lonely there. Actually, you know what? Maybe you should watch from the stands. I really need to focus on the competition. I understand. It's kind of like that time in monster school that I had fallen asleep during scare tactics class, and when I woke up, you toss a serious stare at Steve, and he takes the hint. Never mind, I'll tell you later. Good luck. Having suffered this huge setback, you don't know how you could ever win. What are these options? Summon extra power from deep down within myself. Last time we did this, we burned our eyebrows off. I can do this. I have what it takes. I came here to win. Your hair turns mac and cheese orange as... What the fuck? Okay. Your hair turns mac and cheese orange as culinary energy flows through your body. My heart is pure, my hands are steady, my taste buds have been preparing their entire lives for... Yes, Daddy Mukluk, you are the chosen one. You will avenge me. The power you'd been summoning immediately fades back out. You interrupted my inspiring monologue. Sorry. My heart is pure, my hands are steady, my taste buds have been preparing their entire lives for this moment. I will show the world my cookery. In darkest day, in blackest night, no evil shall escape my sight. Let goes... You begin to levitate. You begin to levitate off of the ground. Energy courses through your body. You know that with this power, you can do anything. The Cologne.
Given 242 gift subs.
Drawsony gifted a sub to the Cologne Nell Sanders. Except turn back time, which would be super useful because while you were powering up, your chicken pot pie overcooked in the oven and can't be served. But don't worry, dear Daddy Mukluk. You may have suffered some setbacks, but all is not was... Wait a minute, so our food was burning in the oven and we were just sitting there screaming, turning mac and cheese orange? Impressed with your fortitude, Colonel Sanders decides that you have earned his support. I've been watching you today, and I must say, I'm truly impressed. You've been thinking on your feet and rolling with the punches. Yo, I've done nothing but fail the last 5 minutes. He steps up to your station and stands right beside you. I'm here to help. I feel like I'm not gonna pass culinary school if everybody's helping me. All you've managed to make is mac and cheese, and time is almost up, so you're going to need it. But Colonel Sanders, what about the test? What will happen to you? What about the rules? Following the rules has never really been my thing. I follow my heart. What a guy. Colonel Sanders unfolds a delicate white towel to reveal the most delicious fried chicken tenders you've ever laid your eyes on. And besides, sometimes unexpected combinations can have surprising effects that surpass their individual efforts. Are you suggesting if we combine forces, we can perform the perfect food union? Time's up, students. With time expired, it's the moment everyone has been waiting for. You must now prepare to present your dishes. A handful of students stand tall, but the class seems incomplete. It seems we're missing some students. Pop? Clank? From off-screen, you hear a pure and innocent giggle that can only come from one student. I'm flying. It sounds like it's coming from that broom closet over there. Miriam, wouldn't you mind? Inside of the closet, you see Pop, hanging on a broom hook by the elastic of his underpants. Pop, get down from there right now. Let me guess, did Van Van have something to do with this? When someone asks for a wedgie, who am I to refuse? I thought a wedgie was a salad. It looks like Pop is eliminated from the challenge, seeing how he didn't cook anything. Well, that's not very fair. I can't feel my legs. May I be excused? Sure. You kids and your pranks. I must say, it's not the worst prank in the UCSAL history, but it's not exactly yearbook material. Yo, Van Van killed someone yesterday, or the day before. Wait a second, pranks. Clank, where did that pressure cooker roll off to? You wait to hear a signature word, beep, or other onomatopoeia, but there's none. Somehow he must have gotten unplugged, I guess. We'll have to figure that out later. That leaves only 4 remaining students. Yo, this class was 6 kids? Please collect your final projects. Yes, it has been a long semester. Wow, 3 whole days. But after days of hard work, the time has come for me to eat. Miriam, please step forward. Now describe your dish. I've made tender udon noodles in savory soup. It does look delicious, but done, still hungry. My word, it's so delicate. Is that a teeny tiny Naruto maki I spy floating in this itsy bitsy ball? Yes, chef. Please call me Sprinkles. Chef is my father's name. Yes, Sprinkles, and green tea made from baby tea leaves that I picked myself. Sprinkles carefully sniffs around the dish before opening his mouth and letting just the tip of his pink dog tongue dip into the bowl. Sublime. Would anyone else like a taste? It just had a dog tongue in it. Oh, come on, I'm not one of those dogs who doesn't floss. I even have a really cute electric toothbrush for dogs. Fine, I'll enjoy it all by myself. And in a flash, the entire meal has been devoured. Not that it took much, it was less than a thimble's worth of soup. A+. Rarely do I taste a dish with as much love poured into it as yours. Miriam is overjoyed. She gives you a huge hug. Thank you, Daddy Mukluk, for helping me to believe in myself. Van Van, you're up. Now describe your dish. I made uni over smooth egg custard in an axe-hewn urchin shell topped with caviar. All right, chat, I don't know much about urchins. Isn't that another poisonous or venomous creature? Is Van Van gone with another thing that can kill you? Did you skewer one type of urchin with spines from a second different colored type of urchin? Yes, Sprinkles. A bit much, don't you think? That's exactly why I did it. A bit much is my kind of brand. Doesn't it look cool? Sprinkles leans in to sniff the uni, but he can't get his nose close on account of all the spikes. He begins to paw it erratically, causing the custard to slosh around. Woof, woof. Please be gentle with my cuisine. Arrgh. Finally, Sprinkles goes all in, tongue first, but he can't get past all the needles. He reels back as his tongue is poked and prodded. Youch, my tongue! The professor appears to be having an allergic reaction to the sting. I can't eat this. I keep poking my tongue. Disqualified. A stunning turn of events. Who would have thought that serving food in a bowl made of needles could make it difficult to eat? Who would have thought indeed? Dejected, Van Van does not go gentle into the night. Disqualified for glamour? Don't discount simplicity. This isn't the last you've heard of me. Before forcing us to endure his swollen tongue for another moment, Sprinkles graciously laps up a bowl of milk. I know. Yeah, I'm a dog, and I drink milk. Get over it. Sometimes it helps calm down my agitated tongue. Next student, Ashley Egg. It's time to step up. Now describe your dish. I made orange blossom Turkish delight in a light rose water syrup topped with French meringue and connected by sugar glass. I'm gonna be honest, chat. I've had Turkish delight. It's not great. It blows my mind that that one kid in the Chronicles of Narnia, or you know, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. You know, there was that one kid that like sold out all his friends for Turkish delight. Like, I've tried it. I don't understand why he did that. It's certainly not